Hello, SolarLune here, and here is another devlog video for I Know Who I Am, a Golang game. An adventure game. Hold on, let me start over. Hi, I'm SolarLune, an independent game developer, hobbyist, who basically is working on a game called I Know Who I Am. It's an adventure game in the style of many RPG maker games, but I'm making it myself using Golang and Raylib. There we go. Got through it. All right. So basically, yeah, this is the game. There's sound and music, but for now, I'm just playing this music in the background because I don't want to stop the music. You interact with things. You trigger flags. You have an inventory. You can use the inventory. You know, the usual stuff. There's puzzles to be played and had. There's transitions, there's different rooms, there's collisions, there's lots of stuff. Very cool. Now, there's a couple of things I wanted to do. In the last video, I mentioned that basically I would try doing live coding on a video, so I thought I'd do that. This video is being recorded at 1080p, 60 FPS, so it should be nice and clear and crisp pretty much throughout the entire game with a really high bitrate as well. So, throughout the video. So I don't know why I'm saying this. You can tell. You can just look at the quality settings and see that it's in 1080p. So whatever. Anyway, so yeah, one thing I actually wanted to code is the ability to press F1 and get a list of the flags that are currently set. When you walk around and do things like, for example, interact with this dresser, you pick up a book, like so, and that sets a flag. In addition to adding the book to your inventory, it sets a flag in the dresser. I'm sorry, sets a flag for the dresser to see that basically indicates that the item has been interacted with, the book has been taken out. So when you try to check it again, it says it's empty. What I want to do is add a list of flags on the right-hand side that show basically what flags are currently in play and what their values are. That way I can press F1 to just trigger it to see what the current flags are and what values they are, just to help with debugging. So I'm going to go ahead and go to the main function, because this is, let me clear this out. Actually, before I do, I'm going to commit what I have here to my remote repository. I was working on a cursor. Actually, I'll show that. Let's see. Yeah, that's pretty good. So yeah, it's a little cursor where you can like interact with something. The idea is basically, you know, it's just like that, and then when you can interact with it, it waves like, oh hey, you can do something with that. So I'm going to go ahead and implement or commit this. Oh, whoops. Oh, commit. There we go. All right, so now I'm gonna go ahead and work on this. So firstly, yeah, I want to implement this debugging system to basically make it a little bit more easy to see what flags I've triggered and what their values are. So that's going to be drawn here after draw GUI. I guess actually it can be drawn in draw GUI. So this is basically a function I made that draws the item dial window. It draws the choices. It draws the messages. All the stuff that basically gets drawn during normal gameplay. So I'll add this function here that basically will loop through the flags and draw them on the right hand side. So we'll say for flag in range. Let's see. I don't think this is it. This is a type. Game flags is a type specifically that I made just to basically add a function that says, oh, does the flag exist, essentially, which I don't even know is being used. Once. Oh, this doesn't, it's not even used. This is old. This is old. This is some old code. I gotta clean this up. I'm gonna take this out. You can see actually this is interesting. So I used to basically implement my events in code in Go before making this scripting language. So it was basically in Go. It was in a Go file, which means that the events would have been compiled into the game, which isn't that bad of an idea until like you were using it, and it was just kind of really awkward. But then also I can't really reuse the engine. The current design is that everything is separated out, where the assets are completely separate from the game. So like the game engine are the Go files essentially, and the assets are everything else. The maps, the sprites, the characters, everything is outside of the assets. Outside of the engine, which is good. That's very good, because that means that I can actually release this engine for people to use. So, and that's the plan. Apart from the game. So yeah, I'm gonna take out all that old code because I actually implemented it all in. I did not implement it all, but the game's gonna be different anyway, so it's fine to delete it. So we'll just delete that. And this is no longer game flags. We don't actually need this separate class anymore, or I'm sorry, separate type. Where is it? It's in, where is it? Flags, here we go. Yeah, we don't actually need this. This was a type, and that's kind of something that's interesting about Go that it allows you to do is it allows you to define a type, which is basically another type, and that allows you to define functions on that type. So basically this variable flags is an instance of basically a map of string to string, which is flags, you know, well, let me back up a little bit. So a flag in my game is basically a variable. In like while the game is running, it's a variable like, did you talk to your mom before you left the house? Did you pick up your assignment before leaving the office? You know, things like that. Did you pick up the key card? Different things that basically the game that are influenced by play, where you pick up an item, drop an item, give an item to someone else. Those are flags. In addition to, you know, all the other things you can do with them. They're just a map of string, which is the name of the flag, to string, which is the value that the flag contains. So for example, in Pokemon, you set the player's name, right? That's a flag. So the player's name flag is set to, you know, Ash or Red or whatever the case is. That's the flag. So we don't need this function anymore because we don't use it, which means we don't need this type anymore, which means we don't need this variable anymore. We can just define that elsewhere. So we're going to put it in the main function instead, because there's not really a reason to have a separate file for this. So this will just be a map of string to string. And we can just straight up delete flags.go. Oh. There. Yeah, so that's good. We just got rid of the stuff we don't need. Music and sound are actually flags as well. This is poor design, I feel, but I don't really feel like it's necessary to fix it. I should like have these as separate variables, and I probably will end up doing it. I'll go into why I was doing it like this when I move forward. For now, we'll just keep moving. We're trying to add in this. Okay, so for flag and range flags, rl.draw, wait, because we need it to go down, so that means that we need to basically have the index of the flag. It's not the flag and not the name and the value, but the actual index. Well, I guess we don't have to do that. We can just do like this. This is awkward. Let's just do it like this. I equals 0, I is less than length, flags, I plus plus. We'll just go with the standard loop since we have to define the variable anyway. And we just say flag equals flags I. Alright. Wait. Well, you can't do that. This is a variable. I mean, this is a map. What am I doing? Yeah, you can't. I can't do this. I can't do it like this. I don't know what I'm thinking. I have to do it like this. Okay, because it's a map, so there is no like index for a map. You can't. loop over the... Can you? I want to try this because I'm not actually sure. Can you loop over? Because this seems valid, but at the same time, you can't access the map like this. Let's see. Yeah, okay. You can loop over the map, but you can. Okay, so a map in Go is basically like a dictionary or a hash map, an associative array, where you have like I mentioned before, you have the variable name and then the variable's value. I can't do it like this because that's not a string. So I'm spacing on like how why you would do it like this. Why would you ever use this? All right. Anyway, so let's do it like we were gonna do it before. That was actually gonna work. For flag equals for flag value equals range flags I equals 0. I guess we could just say y equals 0. And then we could just do like this. rl.draw text flag plus value 0 or screen width minus 32, well 64, 0, 4 or 8. Right. Okay, so this should basically draw something on screen, and then we should say plus y plus equal 16 or 8, and then plus y. All right, or whoops, y. All right, let's just try this. This needs to be in 32. Okay, let's try this and just see if it works first. All right, so there's music volume and sound volume. Okay, so there's a couple things. It's wavering like this because it's a map which has no inherent order. So we have to sort it if we want it to be in a specific order. So let's do this. For flag range flags names equals a list of string names equals append names flag. Well, just FN. FN will stand for flag name. That's fine. And then we say sort dot strings names. Then we can just loop through. We don't need the value. We just say flag and range names, and then we say flags flag. All right. So wait. Can I convert to type? What? Flags. Oh, I see. Got it. All right. So basically what we're doing here now, we can move this down a little bit to make it a little easier to understand. Basically what we're doing now, we're creating an array of strings. We're adding all of the names of the flags to the list of strings. We're sorting that list, and then we're going to loop through that list in order and draw the flags and their values. Now it's alphabetical. Now it's music volume, then sound volume. Good. What we want to do as well, or what I want to do, is actually push over to the left. Well, we'll do it like this first, so I can show you why. But if we just push the values over to the left, for one thing, they're uneven. And if I have something that's actually more text or more values, then it's going to be over to the right. So what we want to do is get the longest flag and push everything over by that value, so they all end. So they all start at the beginning, basically, like here or here, wherever they should be. So, because I want it to look nice, so we'll do that. All right, so longest flag, we'll just do that, equals flags 0. Well, actually, let's do it like this. Longest flag equals blank. We'll say if flags FN, wait. Yeah, okay. Length equals rl.measure text fn plus this plus flags fin flag display size 8. Flag display size. Let's see. Cannot use. This is supposed to be 2. If length. Wait. All right. Oh, I don't actually need to know the longest flag. I just need to know the longest length. There. Okay. So what this... Wait. Oh, I see. This needs to be in 32. All right. We can replace this. All right. So what we're doing here is basically we're saying we want to measure the length of the text for the flag and its value, because they might not all be single digit values. Like sound volume and music volume start off at 0 right now, but they might be at 100. A flag might have someone's name, so it could have multiple letters in it. So a flag doesn't have to be short. So that's why we're looping through and measuring basically the flag plus the value name. I guess it doesn't matter what we put in the middle because it's always going to be the same. Here's where we actually want to like format it. So we're getting the length. That's Raylib. Raylib provides that function, which is very useful. Here we're getting the length of basically the text for the flag plus its value, and then we're like concatenating the strings, adding together the flag name and the value of the flag. And if it's longer than the longest length, which is 0 by default, then we set the length to be the longest length, and that's what... Wait. These should be like that. Okay. So we set the longest length to be the length, and here, by the time we get down here, now we know basically how far over to the left we should have the value. So we'll show it. Whoops. We'll show it in a couple seconds. We'll show it working. All right, so yeah, so music volume and sound volume both start on the same line. Music volume slightly over to the left because it's shorter, because it's the I is in there, whereas the, well, yeah, it's slightly over to the left. So that's by design. That's good. All right, so that's fine. So we'll show this in a couple of seconds. We'll do this. We'll say flags test equals here is a longer test string. So when we add this to the flags, it should show up on the right hand side essentially. It didn't work. Why didn't it work? Oh, that's right, because we're not actually using it. My mistake. All right, longest length. That's what we actually need to do. I think that's good. No, why do I keep doing that? Better. They all start on the left-hand side. Yeah, that's better. It's just slightly off. Why? Oh, because we're adding these two things here. Okay, so then I guess we do need to wait. All right, so yeah, let's add that in, so then it'll properly work there. Yeah. Perfect. Now we just need to only do that if the debug mode is on, which is triggered by pressing F1. Oh no, something froze. VS Code, what the heck? You never freeze. Wow, okay, well, that came out of nowhere. Alright, well, whatever. It should still be working. Cool. What we're gonna do now, because that actually is kind of hard to see. We're gonna draw a bar behind it, so behind each thing. So we're gonna do this: rl.draw rectangle x. So this is x and y. Actually, we don't need to take y. We just need to take x. All right, so x, y, flag display size, flag displays, wait, no, longest length. Now that I think about it, we don't need to, well, I guess that's fine. All right, so this should be good. All right, so this should actually draw it. Let's see. rl.black. Well, let's just go with this for now. Yeah. So now it's actually like it's actually harder harder to kind of like not see it. Good. We want it to be slightly transparent though, because we don't want it to like always be on if it's just gonna kill like the actual ability to see through it. So let's do this. There's actually a function for this, rl.fade 0.5 rl.fade. Let's try that, see how this goes. I didn't mean to do that. That's fine, because we can still see through it. To be honest, I feel like this should be a separate key to turn this on. Alright, so yeah, I think I'll make it a different key, because this sometimes you'll need to see through it. So if rl.isKey press rl.key F2, and debug mode is on. Well, no, wait, because yeah, I don't want to make another variable for this. That's fine. That's fine. I don't really envision having trouble seeing through it. If I have trouble seeing through it, I'll just fix it later. There's not really a need to do that right now. This is already useful. It's already an addition that should be useful to kind of troubleshoot stuff. That's fine. All right, so we don't need this test flag anymore. I keep doing that. I'm never gonna stop. I don't know what's up with this Alt Tab in KDE. It's just weird. Like sometimes you'll Alt Tab and it'll just like kick something over to like the end of the list. All right, cool. All right, so I'm gonna commit this. Let's commit this. Removing flags, game flags type. Removing flags.go. Removing flags definition to main.go. Actually, let's not do that one. I want to do that separate. we'll commit these and not foyer. Adding debugging for flags. Removing necessary old events from foyer. Actually, let me just look through my events and clean up any events that are that have data on the back. At the end, nope, 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 nope. All right, so it's just the foyer. All right, so cool. Now here's the thing. What I was going to do, or actually, let me actually kind of introduce this with this part of code here, right here. There we go. So the music volume and the sound volume are flags, because even though you never interact with them, I originally would design the game and the engine so that basically the idea is that you just save the flags to completely save the game state, which is a fine idea initially, but now that I'm actually working on the project a little bit more, it doesn't seem necessary. Let me show a little bit what I mean. Actually, now that I think about it, it might be good to know the name of the map, to have that display at the top left or something. I know it displays it here, but it might be good to show it somewhere else. Anyway, that's fine. Maybe I'll add that later. But basically, here's the problem. This room is the bedroom. This room is the foyer. You go back to the bedroom, the player spawns down here like he should. But this is a completely different instance of the bedroom than the one we were just in. This is a new one. This is the armoire. Actually, it should be a bookshelf, I guess. Well, this is the armoire. You open it, you look in there, there's a novel, you take it. Now it's empty. You leave the bedroom, you go back. This is a new bedroom. So how does this object know that basically you've taken the book? It's because of the flag. The flag that basically says you took the book from the armoire. You can see this in this event here. If check well here. So yeah, this is it, dresser. So if there's a few lines here where basically you can interact with. Wait a second. What? Wait a second. Let me. Am I misunderstanding how my own thing works? Hold on. I might be. Let me see here. Bookshelf. That's the wrong one. That's not it. It is dresser. Okay. Oh, okay. So then how is this? Is it not what I think it is? Maybe it's not what I think it is. Hold on. Oh, that's my bad. My scripting language uses white space to determine like you're finished with the event. So that you can't just have a label that ends with white space. It'll just do nothing. Or that begins with white space. It has to be like label and then immediately after the events. And a label is something that begins with a colon, by the way. So like here's the one for the window, here's the one for the dresser, here's the one for the bed, etc. Is it already persistent? Is it already persistent? It might already be persistent. Let me take a look at the assets. Am I already making the maps persistent? Because if so, there's get bored. Board. Pointed to a board. Well, no, new board, next board equals nil. How does the transport system work? Yeah, next board is a new board. This is interesting because basically the way that it should work, this dresser should. All right, so the way that this dresser function works, this dresser event works, it basically checks to see if you checked the dresser, it plays an animation, if so, it plays a message that says it's empty, and then it returns, it basically exits out of the event. But if you haven't checked the dresser, then it just goes ahead and plays through the normal sequence of events where you check the dresser, and it sets the flag at the end, right here. Now here's the weird thing though, is that this seems to be a completely new instance of the, and there's the check dresser flag showing up. It seems to be a completely new instance of the game world, but the dresser is still checked as though it's not a new instance of a game world. Which is weird because I have something specifically I invented or made for the system that basically allows things to run for. Let me do some checks. All right, so okay, let's go to the board. Let me see. If board name is equal to dresser, yes. Okay, so I'm just trying to understand basically first. Okay, so yeah, this is the dresser. All right, so it is loading the dresser. So I want to know specifically. Oh, wait. Maybe I'm stupid. Hold on. Let me check the brain. Let me check the NPC brain. The NPC brain is what handles like all of the logic for like interacting with things, all that stuff. All right, so here's what I'm talking about. Basically, I have a system in place where it will automatically run an event if it begins with auto on transition to the board. So I was thinking that basically the way I was having this work is if you transition to, like if this was like this, then when we first get into the game, it's going to basically like pick up the. What? Okay, this is weird. What's going on? Oh, that's right. Okay, that's actually correct because we're just starting the game, so that doesn't technically count. No, that is weird. Okay, I gotta see what's going on here. This is weird. It's not actually in a... Right, because there's no dresser label anymore. I don't get why this isn't NPC board just transitioning. Is just transitioning never true? Oh, I broke this. I see, because the NPC board used to point to, the NPC used to be an object on the board. Now the NPC is a brain that inhabits a board. So this is a board, the dresser. It's a thing, and it has a brain. So this actually never will trigger essentially because the dresser board, this A sprite file never transitions to another or from another thing. So this should be actually board dot parent board dot just transitioning. Okay, that might work. Let's see. Nope. Is this just not running, or... Okay, it's running. Bed, window, clock, dresser. Okay. Parent board dot name. Bedroom. Okay. Actually, this might be what I originally thought. So if we just leave and come back, it might actually trigger the dresser. Nope. Okay. So why not then? Just transitioning. So just transitioning is true. That reminds me to set this to false after this process. Alright, that's good, but that doesn't solve the issue. Let's see. Alright, so that's better. That's okay, better. So it never finds it. Okay, so let's so then it must just have issues finding it. So let's check this. Oh, yeah, that's right. Okay, it's that. Duh, figured it out. Nope. I don't know why I always think I have it, because it feels like I do, but then I completely obviously don't. Alright, let's do this. Let me get events. Or wait. NPC brain. NPC brain B. So where does it actually know? Oh, okay. NPC board get root dot name. Alright, let's do it like this. Why do I do it like that? Alright, that's fine. Alright, that's fine, that's fine. Let's just try it. Nope. Let's see. Okay, so it did find the, yeah, it does work. So then I think it's this part. Let's see. NPC.board.name. Okay, so yeah, I just haven't updated this in a while. This was basically broken for a while. That's what it was. All right, so it's kind of working a little bit. All right, 47 interact. Okay, so it auto indexing was 0. Interact 307. Current event equals kit events. Okay, so I think I have to do this. So, just advanced. All right, let's try this. Sigh. All right, I think I'm gonna have to redo this because this is something I'm not using currently, so that's why it's not working at all, because I'm not using it, and I haven't used it since I made some massive changes to the code. So I might just retool this because I never need it. All right, so we'll just cut that completely out in favor of not having that system. Let's see, do I ever actually use this anywhere in the code? I do. All right, so what I'm doing here is combing my code to remove the times that I use -auto because I don't actually need it at the current stage. Okay, so that's good. We'll stop. We'll stop there with this system because yeah, I don't need it at the moment. Removing automatic event execution for now. Even though that actually, I mean, it actually is useful. It's just, for one thing, I'm not sure if I want to have it here where you do something like this where you tag an event as being automatic, or if I want to put it on the slice, because that makes a little bit more sense to put it here and say like auto. So this basically means that the slice will automatically execute or automatically interact when you basically go on the board. I'll have to think about that a little bit, maybe on the next video, because I don't need it at the moment. Okay, so here's the thing. I got super sidetracked, but here's the thing. Here's the thing. Here's the thing. So back in the day when I designed this engine, all of the time, we're talking years and years and years of minutes, also known as a couple of months ago. Basically, I put everything in flags, and then I based everything around that because I was like, okay, well, let's make it so that, you know, you play the game, you change flags, and then you can save those flags and load those flags, and all you have to really know is like the player's position and the flags, and then the game should automatically work. Whether you load the game, whether you leave a room and come back, you'll know if it works because basically everything will change. Now here's the thing. That was before I made this system like it is, where I don't understand how that bookshelf is staying empty. I gotta figure that out. But yeah, basically I made the game in such a way where it was going to save and load flags, but we don't need to do that anymore, essentially, I think. Because I think that it would be better to just serialize the entire game and save it that way. Which means that boards can be persistent. They don't have to revert on leaving and re-entering unless that's specifically what you want. So here's the thing. I still have to figure out what's going on with this dresser board because it's doing this thing and I don't know why and I don't know how. Let me see. fmt. Oh, I guess if fmtc.asc board.asc. Oh, that's smart. That's smart. That's crazy, actually. Now I figured it out. So it's actually because my assets are pointers for an A sprite file, which means that if you are on, let's say, map A, you play an animation for a dresser, and then you move to map B, the other dresser will have that animation set. So actually, let's test this out. This is actually a bug of sorts. Let me see if I can kind of reproduce this. Where are we at? Let's close some of this stuff. Let's go to the foyer. Yeah, I'm gonna put a dresser here. Where's whatever? Here we go. Okay, so yeah, I think I figured it out. Okay, so we go ahead and we interact with this. I go out. I go south, and this dresser is also open now, which is insane because you didn't do anything with that dresser. That's a problem. This can't be a pointer. I think. Let me think. Yeah, because I mean, what if you want, you know, 2 dressers in the game, right? Yeah, that makes, yeah, like I mean, what else are you gonna do? So, well, actually, let's do it like this. Let's make it so that it will store. It won't store a. Well, it needs to store a pointer. Ha. Because the JSON, it needs to be a clone of the sprite animation, essentially. Shoot. All right, so here's what we're gonna do. We're just going to we're gonna make specifically sprites always return new pointers to data. So like if you try to load, let's say Mario dot, you know, the Mario sprite, if you load it twice, it'll give you 2 Mario sprites because, you know, you might want to play different animations on them, right? So this, we'll have to make a variable that basically will just skip over storing the asset back because we don't really want to store it. We want a unique copy. And I can't just make this a non-pointer because if I do that, oh, that'll work. Okay, that'll work. So it'll just be a... That might work. Let's see if this works. Let's see if this works, because this should basically mean that each one is unique. And I think it's working. Let's see. Okay, so now if I go down, it's a different one. Okay, it's working. All right, so that works. All right, so this is now. All right, let me write this up here. We don't want a pointer to the data actually, because we usually, well, might want a new copy to sprite animation data for each sprite. Okay. So basically, what this is we might want to make like an actual copy of this. So we might want to make a new copy to sprite. Well, we don't. Yeah, we want a Copy. All right, so this works. Something that's weird a little bit is that the interaction animation no longer works. Let me look into that. Interact. All right, so this ASC doesn't work anymore. Update. Okay, right. So this kind of should be a weird smell, a weird code smell, in that I'm getting an exclamation point JSON and then updating it and playing it, and that works because this is always pointing to the same thing. So far, I've never had any duplicates, any duplicate items. So I never had to do this, but now this makes sense why it doesn't work. Okay. We're gonna make a variable for this. All right, that should work, I think. Let's see. Nope. Oh, yeah, there it goes. Okay, so we're good again. All right, so we're good again. I think we're good. I think we're good. Okay. All right. I'm just like, I think. All right, this might have some impact, but this is so far okay. All right, so that fixes that. That fixes this. That fixes that. We don't need to do anything with the foyer again. We can take that out. Yeah. All right, so this fixes those issues. Now, here's the thing. What I was going to say, what I was leading up to, is that we want the maps to be persistent, because if that allows us to basically make it so that if you do something like move a block or move an NPC, for example, from one point to another, when you leave the room and come back, it'll still be there. That's the idea. So let's see if it actually. Well, it won't. Nothing will happen here. Well, yeah. If we leave here and come back, it should be closed again. Perfect, perfect. So this isn't persistent. Yeah, but you notice I walked over this myself, and that's why I never caught this issue. Because basically I have this where it says, "Oh, did you check the dresser already? If so, play the animation that says it's empty, and then say it's empty." This is stupid. I don't have to do this, and I don't have to do that. I don't have to do this specifically because it doesn't matter. Like, if it's working correctly, we don't have to play the animation again because it's already going to be open. And if we leave the room and come back, if it's persistent, it'll stay open. If it's not, then it'll just be it'll act like it's already closed. So this is fine. What we just need to do is make it persistent so that the animation stays open. That actually should be relatively simple. All we have to do is basically make it so that we have a function to get maps. So this is going to be a special function for this that's not like the others, but that works like the others, which will be get map, map name string, and it'll return a pointer to a board. And what this will do is, where's the board? It'll basically do this if the board doesn't exist. So we say res equals get resource. Well, we can't actually use the get resource function because this is for actually loading a resource, which actually, let's rename that. It shouldn't be get resource. This is specifically for loading resources. Well, no, it gets the resource as well if it doesn't exist, so that's fine. If it only loads it if it does not exist in the game already. All right, so basically the get map works by saying like, hey, does an asset exist? So we just need to basically manually load this asset in, because it's not a file on a well, a board. Okay, wait. Because here's the thing. Okay, here's the thing. This is a board in my game that I have here. Let me see if I can pull something up. This is a board. It contains other boards on it. The player is a board. The dresser is a board, or the armoire is a board. They're boards, and a board is basically just an ASprite file with slices on it that influences where it moves, or rather, you know, its behavior, if it has a player brain or not, or you know, its animations. So a board is basically an ASprite file. Now, a map doesn't, there's no such thing as a map, there's just a board. But the thing about getting a board is we want to get specifically a board that exists. So I'm going to reuse this asset system to basically keep track of my maps. Really, a map and the assets are different, and a map and boards are different. A map is basically a board that's been loaded and has a state. It's just a board, but this function will basically save the map, essentially. So if I say, oh, give me the bedroom map, it will give me the bedroom map. If it doesn't exist, it'll create it. If it does exist, it will give it to me. So that if I need to transport to that bedroom map, it will just transport to it. It'll be a pointer. I'm saying a lot of stuff, but it should work pretty fine. I'm just not sure if I want to have reuse the assets map specifically for this, because it's not really for this. Also, this won't work, will it? Because I store assets. I store assets using the file name. Let me take a look here. This might not work. Let me take a look to see how my assets are formatted. My assets map, are they? I think my assets map might be. That won't work. I need to do this somewhere else. Let me just debug it. I'll just debug and see if I can get the assets. Can't find function context. What? Why? Better. Alright, so what is this call stack? What is it doing? What? Let me see. Do I have to be in like main? I don't think I do. Let me see. I have no idea what it's doing. I think I might. Do I need a breakpoint? Maybe I need a breakpoint. Let me add a breakpoint, because maybe it's just like I don't know where your code is executing for some reason. We'll put it here. There. Now let's see, assets. Okay, so this is a map. Yeah. Okay. So I have like backyard.png, elevator.png, outside shed.json, bed.png. Okay, so everything is stored basically as the file name. So this will work. This will work fine. I don't know what I was thinking. Why I thought that it might not work. Okay. All right. So what we're gonna do? We're gonna go to assets. We're gonna say if map exists equals map exists equals assets map name plus dot map. We'll say. And we say if map exists, return m dot board. Basically, like, yeah, that should. Wait. Oh, im dot data dot board. Okay. Else assets map name plus dot map equals new board map name. Return. I guess actually I could just do it like this. Well, that's fine. Return assets map name plus dot map dot data dot board. All right. Oh wait. Dot data. All right. So this should basically make the boards persistent because now we're going to be using pointers. Well, now we're going to be storing boards instead of getting new boards. And the way there's only a couple of places where basically I use this, where I use the new board function. One is here, so we'll use this get map bedroom. And then anywhere else where there's new board, there should be only like 1 or 2 places. Let's see. Items new board, fine. Main new board. Yeah, wait. Yes, okay. That's fine. Well, actually, we can use get map here as well. Okay, and then next board equals get map. We don't want to use new board basically, essentially. The idea is that basically once you have a board, you should use get map because it's either going to give you the map, create the map, or give you the existing map. Whether it's persistent or not, I guess I can just make it so that the board will automatically remove it from the assets map if you don't want persistence, but that's something I have to figure out later. But for now, this should basically make it so that all the boards are persistent because I can't think of any reason why you would not want that for now. Okay, so new board. So this should be get map. Nope, these aren't maps. These are boards. Because a map is like a board that is a state, right? So we have to store them somewhere to keep track of them so that if you go from map A to B to C to A, it's possible. So when map C says, I want to go to map A, it will pull up through its index of maps, map A. So this system does not work if we want to embed maps on each other. Is that okay? Yeah, well, let me think. So, let's see. Well, this is fine here, but like this though. I'm trying to think of a situation where this would be bad. Nah, these are root level boards. That's fine. This should be fine. This is really where the money maker is. This is why we made this. Okay, so that should do it. This should be persistent, which means that basically it's going to be storing the map data. Why is this not? Okay, it's gonna be storing the map data. It crashed. What's that map 10? Oh, assets map name plus map equals asset. I guess there should be a pointer to an asset. Whoops. There we go. And then data. Okay. So, wait. Okay, so this should work. Alright, no immediate crash. All right, it's working. It's just it needs to position the player on the new screen, but that actually is working. This is actually persistent. So this is excellent. This is what we're after. We just have to figure out how to position the player on the new board again. So next board equals get map. Okay, I gotta test the music actually. Let me test the music. Let's test the music. Well, let's fix this first. Then we'll test the music. All right, so. Alright, so we got the next board, subboards, OG player. Okay, so there's the OG player. Get brain is not equal nil. Player gets get board, facing right. Okay, so here's the good thing about this is that the transport function, like the boards exist. So like if you want to like update a board that's not on screen, you can do that. Like if you wanted to, let's say, delete a board, delete something from another map, or if you wanted to like move something on another map, you can do that with this system because the maps are stored in memory for one, and then they're also persistent, which is also important. So that's really good. So that's definitely going to pay off. It's just a matter of making sure this actually works. So new rec.x equals rec.x. Okay, filter. So what? Wait. Well, this definitely should be working if subboards. All right, so this definitely should be working. So I'm not sure exactly why it's not. Let's see. Updated player. Oh, I guess I should actually use. I should actually use breakpoints like not a noob. I guess. Fine. Oops. Alright, so you go down, boom. Breakpoint, let's see, OG player. Okay, so these are two different things. So the OG player is a board, the normal player is the board, and the OG player points to bedroom. The new player points to the one on foyer. Okay, so he's at 0, 0, and then when we advance, excuse me. Let's see, did he get moved at all? Why is transport running so often? It ran like 3 frames. Let's see. Transport, let's see. Let me check something real quick. Transport should only be run like once. I think it might be like running as long as he's interacting with it or something. No? Okay. Oh, I see. Because it's looping through. That's right. It's looping through. It's a loop. Okay, so it is running just once. Okay, good, good. All right, so it's just because, let's see. Oh, that's why it wasn't updating, because it wasn't that the right object, the right slice on the board. Okay. This is super complex. Well, not really, but it's just this design here is kind of obfuscating things a tiny bit, but it's working fine, so that's fine. It's not a problem. All right, so what we need to figure out is specifically why he's not moving on this board when going back to the bedroom. Yeah, it's being moved 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. Maybe I need to break. Wait, subboards. That's probably a good idea, but let's. that's probably a good idea. This probably would be good to put in up here somewhere. I feel like. Like basically, if you can't find the original player, then if you can't find the player on. Wait. Oh well, we know that there's. Well, yeah, that's true. If it can't find the original player, then that yeah. Well, I actually let's see. Okay. Well, let's do this. I still, because yeah, I just had to figure out why the board isn't moving. So. Alright, so it's 96, 148, and then 89, 138. So it's actually moving higher slightly, but not by very much. So why is that? Let's see. Oops. Alright, it's moving in by 20. Oh! Wait. New rect X. Okay, it's because it's persistent. That's just the fundamental reason why. So the new rect is this rect. Okay, rect.x. Okay. Rect. We still want to do this because we might want him to be in a different position on this map. So wait a second. There's probably an easier way to do this, isn't there? I probably could just pass. I probably could just pass into the board an object to take along. Gotta figure that out. I'll see that there might be a better way to do this, but for now, let's just try understanding the situation. No, there we go. So he's just being pushed to the wrong position. Let's just say like times 5, so I can see if it's actually like moving him at all. No, no, no! I keep pressing the wrong key. Okay. All right, so that put him where he should have been. He's not even. What? Oh, I see. I see. I see. I see. I see. This is something that I never had to deal with before. Basically, when the player touches a transport, it triggers a transportation mode on the board, which I think like I never exit out of because I always have just discarded the board before. Now I'm going to need to exit out of it, which I think that's what it is. So transport It's a function next board. Okay, so it's just if there's a B next board, I guess. I guess that's how it knows if it's transporting. So let me go to main real quick. So it says, okay, next board equals board.next board. If the next board is not equal to nil, next board dash okay. Board, okay, so here's where basically the transition finishes, and next we switch from one board, the current board, to the next one. Now, once we do this, so we'll say old board equals board. Once you do this, old board dot next board equals nil. I think that's it. Nope. Okay. Actually, that does work. All right, that actually is working. The thing, if you notice with debug, it helps. When he moves up, it moves him, but not the box around him that basically checks for a collision. That's still at its old location. So that's what we just need to fix. Is go to board. I don't know why I have so many other things open. Go to board, go to this. We want to move the board. We want to move. Okay, here we go. Is this? Okay, so we get the NPC detector, we get the player brain, and we okay, so this actually should work. This actually should work, I believe. Let's see if it does. No, I don't want to do that. No, it does not. Now, why does it not? So the OG player... Pippi. Wait, so we're moving the new player's position to compensate, right? So we're moving the new player's position. Alright, let's just do this. Because there's a couple ways to actually fix this. I can just go to the player brain and move the NPC detector rectangle . Wait. Wait, where do I? Oh, it's here. Okay. This is so awkward. This line. Well, this system is a little awkward. This system I have with the NPC detector. Basically, I have a slice that's around the player that determines basically if he can interact with things. I should just make a normal rectangle. There's no real reason to make this system. Like this doesn't really do anything. I don't really get why I do it like this. I don't know. But this should work. Alright, so we'll actually move this just before we use the NPC rect, I think. Which is here. Well, that's fine. We'll just save it here. I might end up removing the NPC detector altogether because we don't need it. It's only in the player brain, and I could just make a normal square, a normal Like, I don't need it to exist the way it does. Yeah. Simple. So basically what I ended up doing was just moving the NPC detector like earlier in the code, because moving it later just meant that basically it could lag behind a frame. So right after transition, it was looking through and being like, oh, you're still touching a transport. And then further down, it's like, okay, now let's go ahead and move the NPC detector to where the player is. This doesn't even have to be here. I need to just remove this and just have a square that basically you check. Like, it doesn't need to be an actual thing on the player. I'll do that next time. But this is working. So this actually works. The next video I'm gonna make, because this actually is stretched on for longer than I anticipated, will be on serializing. So I'll serialize everything to a file where I can save the flags and the player's position and the current map and all that stuff, and the currently playing animations for each object and all that stuff, and then we'll load it back and we'll have a saved game. So that will be nice. Yeah. Well, isn't this something? Nice. So yeah, it's working. It's working real well. It's working real well. All right, well, this has been fun. It's been something else to... Seems like whenever I code or stream, like code on a video or live, like this is my first time doing this where I'm coding, I think... Whoa, what did I... What? Okay, so I think this is the first time that I've coded on like a video and not a live stream. I've done coding on a live stream, but it seems like whenever I code and I'm talking, I run into like the most outlandish problems where it's like, what? Huh? Maybe because I try to do like interesting things instead of just like, okay, I'm gonna make a box on stream. It's like, oh, I'm gonna make a saving system, and it's like, what in the world is going on? That's basically what happens every time. So anyway, thank you very much. Thank you very much for watching. It's been fun. It's been real. Please tell me that I've been recording. Thank goodness I have. It's been an hour and a half, and I have almost, for a second, I was like, maybe I haven't been recording. Thank goodness. All right. Well, thank you very much for watching. It's been real. I'm SolarLune. Persistent maps in I Know Who I Am. It's been fun, and catch you on the next time, on the flip side next time. All right. See ya. Bye.